Hello people, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world, and welcome to the second Mac Chat AMA. So this time I've got the speech chat turned off because last time it got a bit busy and got a bit distracting. So the reason for this chat is that I'm going to be talking about my journey with Pico, which is it's really interesting, and it all culminates in what happened yesterday, which is extremely interesting. So, we're going to a bit of background, so just quickly go through the chat. So, Assassin's here, Tassos is here, Walking Dead, Maniac Psycho, Mo Beast, how you all doing, my friends? Thank you very much for tuning in, listening to me waffle on, as per usual. I've got the Mac Juice, so this may go downhill quite quickly. So let's go back to November 2022 when I was approached by Wen Yu, who is the games development manager from Pico. She's the games development manager for Pico Europe, I do believe. Correct me if I'm wrong. Oh, thank you, Walking Dead, mate. Every time. You're too generous, my friend. Hey, Jason. Diamond Geezer's here. Yeah, so I was approached by Wen Yu. Out of the blue, said, would you like to come down to ByteDance HQ in London and give some feedback on the just released Pico 4 headset? So, yeah, of course. I mean, I was a massive Pico fan. When it released, I was very, very hyped for it. Still, to this day, is my main PC VR headset. If there is a game that releases on the Pico 4 and the Quest 2, I'll prefer to play it on the Pico 4 because the pancake lenses are better. Now that we have the AMVR and KKCOB VR head strap, it's also a lot more comfortable. Hey Weebles, how you doing, my friend? Hey Indy. Yeah, so the Pico 4 is now become the mainstay of my channel, as it were. So I was extremely interested to go down. Went down, I think it was in November. Ran into Power on VR. Shuey from Power on VR was invited as well. And also for the first time, I met Beanie, or Jay, and you may know him from our Discords. He's the community manager for Super Bright. And I also met Rob, or you may know him as Silver Tongue Devil. I described him as Jay and Not So Silent Bob, because Silver Tongue does like to talk a little bit. He does like the sound of his own voice. But anyway, lovely fellas, both of them. Obviously, I know Shuey from before. Yeah, so we went into this meeting not really knowing what was going on. And there was a demonstration of a new product, which Pico are bringing to the market next year. A new game, which they were developing, which I do believe has now been released in China, called Cypher. And yeah, basically, they wanted feedback on the Pico ecosystem, you know, the headset, the UI, and all those sort of things. Shuey came up with some absolutely brilliant ideas for the Pico UI, which was to have gateways for your favorite games, so you didn't have to pin them to the UI, or they were just there in your room, and if you looked at them and pointed towards them, you could then go into that game and you could launch that game without even messing around. So they are actually implementing that idea that Shui had, which is absolutely brilliant. We had a wonderful day down in London. The meeting was about 5-6 hours long. Then they took us out for dinner at a very nice restaurant. Had a lovely pan-fried steak. And then got the train home. So, yeah, that was good. So, who's we got? Assassin here. But, oh, my God. Assassin's wearing his Born to Respawn t-shirt. Cheers, mate. So, go forward to March 2023. And we were invited down again. A little bit more of a formal thing this time because they had they had a developer that he was going to do a talk. Shui did a talk about what he thought the future of VR was. And it was a little bit more formal than the meeting we'd had before. Same sort of people. A few more people from Pico that we met. We met a chap from the Spanish side of Pico, whose name I can't remember. I do apologise. I did actually meet him later on this year. And yeah, we met a young lady called Amrit, who was the Pico live stream manager for Europe. And she had a proposition that Pico are going to start sponsoring or paying people to stream on the Pico live video app, which is on the Pico headset. So that was very exciting. Shui had formal knowledge of this, and he said to me, you need to talk to this girl. It's going to be very, very exciting. So I handed my details over. Sorry, Clickster was there as well. I handed my details over. Rob, Clickster, and me, and Shui all handed our details over to her. We then got, what's the word I can use? Treated to Clickster dancing whilst playing the game Cypher, which was entertaining. I have a video. I think it's on my Twitter somewhere. It's funny. Yeah, so that was a good meeting. We came home. I was very excited. Told the wife, looks like I could be getting paid by Pico to stream on their platform. And then nothing for 6 weeks. For me, personally. Mac Juice. Yeah, so I was then in a conversation with Shui, and he said, oh, I'm in the process of being signed up. I was like, all right, okay, nobody's approached me. So I reached out to my contact, that is Wen Yu, who is the game development manager for Pico Europe. One of life's wonderful people. She's absolutely lovely person, massive geek gamer, a real sort of VR enthusiast. Just one of those people that you think that can definitely drive this industry forward. I said, I think Amrit's forgotten about me. So she reached out to Amrit. Amrit contacted me, said, oh, okay, yeah, okay. This is the crack. There's this contract. We need to get you onboarded onto the Pico Live platform. Once you get whitelisted, you can start streaming. There was a very specific set of setup details for OBS that you needed to use because the Pico Live video app actually is in 3D. You can watch it in 2D if you want to, but it's in 3D. So like the setup for OBS was a bit weird. And yeah, that was it. I was whitelisted. I started streaming in June. There was a competition for Pico streamers, and it was basically the person who had the most views and watch time at the end of June would win a Pico headset. So I was told that I didn't need to win, but my contract would start on the 1st of July. Fine. So I spent a lot of time in June concentrating on basically streaming on Pico and trying to do the best I possibly could. So, roll on the 1st of July, and I didn't receive any information from the Pico live stream team about what was going on. Was chasing Amrit. There was no real sort of communication with her, and then found out that actually she'd left the company, or she was leaving the company. So, which was a bit of a body blow for me because I obviously expected my contract to start in July. Rob and Shui were already contracted and they were paid Pico streamers. If you want to check them out, you have to have a Pico headset and you have to watch their streams on the Pico Live, the Pico Video app, which I always thought was a bit of a strange. It's always a bit of a strange situation, but we'll get to that later. Yeah, so Rob and Shui were already streaming. I had lost my contact at Pico, so I reached out to you and said, "Can you please tell me what's going on because I really don't know." So, being the lovely person that she is, she chased up for me, and we have a new boss of the Pico live stream, whose name is Wan, and she is specifically from the Chinese live streaming service. And she reached out to me and she basically said, "Okay, Amrit has handed over to me the situation you were in. We'll get you onboarded." So I live streamed on Pico all the way through June, did over 40 hours because I was expecting to get my contract backdated. And that's where things start to go a bit awry. So, yeah. I'm trying to be diplomatic here because there's quite a lot of stuff going on. So, I was told that I would be onboarded and that my contract would start on the 1st of August. So basically, my June and July streams were negated. But I thought, well, okay. Hey, RJ, how you doing, my friend? RJ is the developer of Genotype. One of the developers for Genotype. There's a game coming out soon. You need to keep an eye on it. It's going to be good. It's going to be good. I've played the beta. There's a few issues at the moment, but yeah, it's pretty good. Hey, Silvertongue. That's Rob. Hey, Clay Bomb. Right, so, where was I? I was about to be onboarded. Yeah, so I basically lost all the time that I put into the Pico platform in June and July was basically gone. But I thought, well, you know, okay, fair enough. At least I'm showing willing. And to be fair, I absolutely loved it. I absolutely loved live streaming on the Pico platform because I was doing a mix of flat screen gaming. So I was playing Halo, I was playing Warzone with Tassos and Shui and Fitz. I was playing Ratchet and Clank, and I really enjoyed it. It was just a different thing to do. I did some VR stuff, and I really enjoyed it. So I thought, well, you know, okay, excuse me, that's fair enough. You know, I don't mind putting the hours in as long as I get the contract. So we've all been invited back down to Pico HQ yesterday, and what the live stream team wanted was they wanted the people who had been onboarded to live stream. So me, Shui, and Rob, Silvertongue Devil. And they also wanted the people who'd been watching our stuff. So that was Beanie, Jay, and it was Clickster, and it was Rob, so, and Indie VR. Obviously, you all know Indie VR. So we went down to Pico HQ. There was a big. It wasn't particularly well organized. There was like a late. They wanted to change the date right at the last minute. It was a little bit awkward because we'd already booked our tickets for our trains. Sorry, getting a bit. You know me, I like my Mac juice. Maniac Psycho said, "Indie who?" Oh, I don't know. Some big Indian dude. I don't know. Don't even like him. Yeah, so we'd already booked our tickets. We were like, no, sorry, but the 9th of August is when we're coming down. Also, the reason we were coming down to Pico was because one from the Pico China livestream team were actually in the UK for 2 weeks, and they wanted our feedback. So they basically said, right, well, we're going to split you into 2 groups. So I think it was Beanie, Rob, Indy, and Clicks were in the first group to talk to the team. And then it was me and Shuey and Weeble, or Phil, as we know him now. So there's... Hey, Daysnetic, how you doing, my friend? Hey, Sayanem. Nice to see you here. So we turned up at Pico HQ. It's lovely to see everybody. A lot of people hadn't met Weeble before. I obviously have. Weeble had never met Rob. He'd never met Beanie. He'd never met Clickster. He'd never met Indy, and he'd never met Shuey. So it was a lovely day for Weeble to see everybody. I had to pick him up from King's Cross because he got lost. He says this burns his heart when I tell him this, but it doesn't really. So when I got off the train, Weeble told me where he was. He said, I'm at this outside at a stand called World Food. So when I went outside, there was actually a marquee called World Food, and it was quite big, and there was a lot of people. So I kind of wandered around for a bit thinking, oh my God, where the hell is he? You know, he's probably got lost. Old fella in London, wandering around. So I decided to phone him. So I got my phone out, and then as I got my phone out, I actually spotted him. So I phoned him and walked up behind him. So he was like shuffling around in his pocket trying to find his phone, and I was leaning over his shoulder going, all right, mate, how you doing? And he was like, go away. I'm from the north, we're in London, oh my God. And then he realized it was me, so that was lovely. So it was lovely to see Weeble again. So we went down to Pico HQ. We went up to the 5th floor where they have a very nice canteen. If you've never been to Pico HQ before, it is full of the world's most beautiful people. Everybody's young. Everybody's gorgeous. So I was quite pleased that Weeble was there because that made me think I was not the oldest person. I was not the oldest person in the room this time because last time I definitely was. So it was nice. We went to Pico. Wenyu, who wasn't actually involved in the day, but she works at ByteDance, so she came to see us. That was absolutely lovely to see her again. Like I said, she's one of the world's most beautiful people. Daysnetic, I'm selling my Pico 4. Oh my God. Okay, well, tell me why. So we got settled down with some drinks, and then the first group went in to talk to the China live stream team, and we just basically sat around scoring free food and drink for a couple of hours, chatting to Wenyu. And then we went in for our 2 hours, which was really interesting because obviously the China live stream team are from China, so English isn't their first language. So the 2 guys who were the software developers, I do believe, 2 really cool guys, their English was okay, and we could actually communicate to them. But basically what happened was one was asking us questions, we would answer, then she would translate for the live stream team. Really good feedback. I had a big list of things we wanted to talk about, and it was a great 2-hour interview. It was absolutely fine. Oh, sorry, I need to rewind here. Rewind to when we actually first got to Pico HQ, and I've been in contact with Juan, trying to get my contract sorted, and we were having a few communication issues, i.e. I was still hanging on. So when I met Juan for the first time, the first thing she said to me is, don't worry about your contract. Start the Pico live streaming. You'll be onboarded from the 9th of August, which was yesterday. And don't worry, everything's fine. So I was like, champion, because this is basically what I've been working for the past 2 months. So, I sent a message to the wife, got the contract, we're in. And I'm not going to talk about figures because it's rude. But it's a not insubstantial amount of money, basically to get paid to play video games. And to be honest, I've been really enjoying it. just playing flat screen games and playing some VR on the Pico live streaming service, it's been a revelation because there's no pressure. I'm not worrying about subscribers. I'm not worrying about super chat. I'm not worrying about people liking me or anything like that. It was just basically an open platform, fairly new, and I was enjoying myself. So yeah, as soon as we walked in, bang, I got my contract. I was happy. So the meeting went really well. 2 hours, loads of good feedback. The Pico team from China were really enthusiastic. Showed them a few things. They were like really excited about what we were talking about. And we found out that a lot of things that we had concerns about were actually in the works or already in place in the Pico streaming service in China, which is separate from the European streaming service. It's still being developed. Brilliant. Came out, met up with Wenyu again, sat around the table, had a coffee with everybody, good fun. And that was the end of the meeting. So it was about 4:30, went downstairs, and we were waiting for Wenyu to come downstairs so we could say goodbye. And this is where it all goes a bit awry. I'm going to catch up with the chat before I start into this. So, Silver-Tongued, Weeble, have you know I found my own way from Easton to King's Cross. Well done, mate. You never lost in England. No worries, I get lost all the time. Norman Robinson, hey, my friend. How's it in the Bermuda Islands? Norman is our very lucky rich person who lives in Bermuda. Hey, Reeks. All right. So I need to explain the comment that Reeks has just made there. He got pistol whipped last week. And I was like, oh, cheers, dude. That's a really good game. And he said, he sent me a message, said, dude, that's a workout. And I was like, yeah, it is. And he's just sent there, I can't move. I haven't been able to walk properly for a week. Pistol whip, if you've never played it before, is a proper workout. Especially on the harder difficulty levels. It's absolutely amazing. Right. So, Reek said, yeah, worth it. It's a good break from Beat Saber. Yeah, it is. And it's a harder workout than Beat Saber as well, I think. Okay. So, 4:30 yesterday outside ByteDance HQ. Everything had gone really well. The meeting was brilliant. I got my contract. I was the happiest man in the world. We were going to go for a beer. And Rob took me to one side with Shuey and said, I guess you've heard the bad news. We were like, no. And Rob said, Juan's just told me that our contracts will not be renewed after the end of September. And she said that you knew this. Hey, Above Real, how you doing? Yeah, so as you can imagine, we were quite shocked because we hadn't been told. I'd just been told I got a contract, so I was over the moon. And now to find out that the contract's actually going to end and won't be renewed at the end of September, after all the work I put in through June and July, it was a bit of a body blow, to be honest. I'm not going to say it's going to be a bit of a body blow. I was devastated. Absolutely devastated. This thing that I've been working towards for 2 months was suddenly, I think Rob put it quite succinctly. He said, oh, the rug's been pulled away. And I said to him, I didn't even get to step on the flipping rug before it got pulled away. So, yeah, it was, like Weeble said, it was a bit of a, sorry, Indy said, it's a bit of a liver shot. You know, it's like a bit of a punch in the liver. You go down and you're in a lot of pain and you don't really understand why. So we were stood outside ByteDance HQ. Hey, Clicks, how you doing? I'm going to talk about Clicks in a minute. I'll get back to you, mate. And yeah, anyway, when you came down to say goodbye and we said, oh, yeah, our contracts aren't being renewed. And she didn't know. And she was flabbergasted is one word I can explain. So her and Juan had a very short, sharp conversation in Chinese, which obviously I didn't understand. Bearing in mind that Wenyu is one of the most wonderful people, a lovely person, just one of life's beautiful people. And she said, I didn't know, and I believe her. And she said, we're going to have a meeting tomorrow and I'll try and sort it out. So that's where we are at this particular moment in time. So myself, Rob, and Shuey, our contracts are going to end in September. And that's it. The Pico European live streaming service is not going any further forward, which is a blow. So I wanted to talk about Clickster because obviously Clicks is in the same kind of position that I was, but maybe a little bit further back, that he was hoping to also get a streaming contract. So, but he didn't even get to the stage where he got signed up. So he was like, crap. So Shuey quite succinctly said, right, pub. So he put the nearest spoons into our Google Maps, and we all marched there, all 7 of us, and we sat down, got some beer, and we were like, bugger. Yeah, this is happening. I'm just going to quickly catch up on the chat before I go any further. Yeah, fun with the clicks. Definitely a sour end of the day. I feel a bit used. I'm going to come back to that, mate. I'm going to come back to that. Hello, Moonshine Games. How you doing? Hey, JS. After September, Question will probably get more views. Yeah, maybe. Fun and Silvertongue said, Wenyu is amazing. And she is. She's a proper geek. She's a proper gaming geek. And she loves her VR. And I think that's why she's so good at what she does, is because she has a proper passion for VR. And she really believes in the Pico platform and VR in general. Does this feel like the beginning of the end of Pico in Europe? No, it isn't. That's a good point, actually, Maniac. Thanks for that. The Pico Neo 3 and the Pico 4 have been cleared by the FCC in the US, which is something you have to do if your device contains a wireless part to it. So obviously Wi-Fi. So Pico 4 and Pico 3 Link could potentially release in the US very soon, but there is an ongoing congressional hearing about TikTok and ByteDance currently in the US, which means that obviously Pico is owned by ByteDance, is the reason why Pico hasn't released any headsets in the US. If anybody's not aware of that, that is the reason. Basically, the Chinese government, any Chinese company, has an obligation to the Chinese government to reveal information or data if the Chinese government requests it, which they haven't yet, but they have the potential to do that. So the American government are very wary of this problem, which is really weird because they've got Facebook and they've got Meta, and they seem quite happy about that. They've got Google, you know what I mean? They've got Apple. They seem quite happy about those companies, but apparently because ByteDance is owned by a Chinese company, ByteDance is a Chinese company, they get a bit of sand in their fanny about that. So that's the reason that Pico hasn't been on sale in the US. When that congressional hearing is concluded, we will know whether Pico will be able to sell headsets in the United States market. And that's the reason behind that. So just quickly catch up with the chat. Maniac Psycho, okay. From the Clicks has some great mango cider. Yes, Clicks has some lovely mango cider. It cost a bloody fortune as well, so I hope you appreciate that. Weeble. Wen likes me. She was communicating with Jay. She thought it was me. Pico headsets in the US would be nice. Yes, Reeks, they would be nice. Pico 4 is a really good headset. Yeah, Assassin. I'm guessing you're a US-based content creator. Yeah, the Pico 4 is is really good. Yeah, okay. So what RJ said there is actually quite relevant because, you know, Chinese government have these rules that say they can ask Chinese companies for data, but the US does it anyway. So it's just the fact that it's China, and obviously they think China's the enemy. Though I think I've been to China. Chinese people are lovely. I've met lots of Chinese people. They're all lovely. Maybe we should just all get on. Yeah, that's just my opinion. But then again, I'm not in charge, so. Yeah, you get some amazing hats at least. Oh my god. Yeah, Assassin, you're in Oregon. Yeah, okay, lovely. Yeah, so yeah, we're in the pub, and to console us all, Rob gave out some hats, and he gave Indy a winner medal because Indy's a winner. And then we talked about it because it was weird because I've been pressing Indy to come down to Pico for ages. I was saying, no, dude, you need to get yourself down to Pico. It'll be good for your YouTube. It'll be good for whatever, you know, however you want to push your channel forward. And then the one time he actually does come down, me, Rob, and Shuey get dumped on our asses. So, yeah. Dear me. But on the bright side, I do have my contract, and it is valid until the end of September. Things could change. My feeling is that what I should do is do the best possible streams that I can in the time that I have to basically try and prove that the European streaming thing isn't dead. They should stick with me, Shuey and Rob. They should invest in Clickster. There's a German language streamer called Make, who I haven't actually met, but he is actually signed up for the Pico contract as well. He doesn't know what's going on because we contacted him today, and he's like, I never heard anything about this, which is unfortunately Pico's biggest problem is communication. So if I reach out to Wen, who's the game development manager for Europe, I get a response straight away. If you reach out to the live stream team, because of where they are in China, they're 12 hours behind or in front, I can't remember. There's a delay and you might not get a response. And it's extremely frustrating to be involved in that situation. But like I said, I got my streaming contract. I am going to be streaming on Pico until the end of September. Things may change. We don't know. Rob and Shuey were told that they were going to be contracted until the end of the year. We may find something out in the next couple of weeks, but that is the situation I am in at the moment. So I'll have a drink of Mac juice and then I'll catch up with the chat. So I'm going to go back to something that Clicks said. And he said, where is he? Clicks, Clicks, Clicks. Where are you, Clicks? There you are. Yeah, definitely a sour end to the day. I feel a bit used. So this is basically what happened. We gave the 7 of us gave our input to the Pico live streaming service people from China. We gave them some good feedback. There was a few things they didn't think about that we talked about. And so that Rob, Clicks, Beanie and Indy had the first 2 hours. And then me, Weeble and Shuey had the second 2 hours. That the meeting finished at 4 o'clock. We thought it was all very positive. At 4:30, we found out the contracts were being cancelled. So how would you feel about that situation there? Would you feel that you had been invited down to Pico to give feedback and then, by the way, oh, we're not keeping you on? Did they plan that? Was it just organically happen? Or was that the plan? Like Clicks has said, we all felt a bit, like we talked about afterwards, we all felt a bit used. They've brought us down here to get our feedback, and then they have basically discarded us. Okay. Yeah, so the trip home wasn't very good. I had to phone my wife and say, don't get too excited. My contract is definitely on, but it's going to end in September. I was over the moon, and then I was shot down. Yeah, so, okay, I'm going to catch up with chat because quite a lot happened. Assassin, a fellow bigger content creator, sent one for free. He lives 30 minutes away. Brought it to the barbecue at my house. Oh, nice. I tried to give the hats away on the train. No takers. Yeah. The hats. Oh, dude. RJ, the hats. I'll bring you one. When we meet up at Gamescom next year, I'll bring you a hat. The quality surfwear bucket hats. They're cool. I don't look good in a bucket hat because of the shape of my face. Hi all on a double speed catch up. Hey Slow Coach, how you doing? Hey Evil Kingers. I'm not going to repeat that because it's slightly racist. Especially with the Assassin. Yeah. Yeah. It's just one of those things. I was working to try and get the contract done. I did that work in good faith. Yeah, I agree with you, but I don't think it's going to happen. Yeah, Juan said it accidentally. I didn't. Yeah. So Rob's Silver Tongue Devil there said use were the exact words I used to Juan, and it got a bit awkward because we were like, Juan was stood there with Wenyu, and Wenyu was obviously very upset, and we were like, I think we should walk away because it's getting a bit awkward because we could say something here which we might regret later on. So we actually just walked away, which is I had to apologize to Wen later on because she was like bye, and we were like yeah whatever, and just walked off. So I did actually send a message to Wen afterwards to apologize. With hardship comes ease. Okay, that's a great quote. Oh, RJ, got a showcase spot at EGX, my friend. Book me in. Book me in. I am there. I'm looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to that. Yeah, we did. We walked away. Indy wore his medal all the way home. Oh, dear. Evil Kingus, it was a good call not to break up with us all. Playing two horses kind of paid off. Yeah, it is. And that's also one of the things I want to talk about because I spent so much time concentrating on the nailing down the Pico contract that I kind of have ignored my channel. So, yeah. So the channel members will still be getting the giveaway every single week. Hopefully there will be a Pico 4 headset to give away in the offing. I'm in talks with one to get that delivered. So that will be given away hopefully soon. Yeah, so all channel members will be getting either a gift card or a game key giveaway once a week on a Friday, spin to win. I will be going back to making YouTube content because I kind of got screwed over by Pico and I feel a bit annoyed about it. Hey Moonshine, how you doing? Yeah, okay, yeah. Well, as one door closes, another one opens. That's a good attitude to have. Yeah, you just got to look forward, haven't you, I suppose. But there we go. Mac Juice always makes me happy. Assassin, no, see, the thing is, we have a good relationship with Pico Europe. I have a very good relationship with Wen, who's the game development manager for Europe. So I'm keen to carry that on. We're going back down in August, at the end of August, to see some stuff which we can't talk about. There may be a reveal which we can't talk about. So there's lots of exciting stuff going on in Pico. The Pico live streaming contract stuff, though, is a bit of a downer. But I still maintain that I will keep my relationship with Pico as it is because, yeah, it's exciting. They want to rival Meta. Meta's got the Quest 3 coming out in September, probably, maybe October. Pico are not going to rest on their laurels. The Pico 4 is a great headset, even against the Pico... the Pico 4 is a great headset, even against the Quest 3. The only thing the Quest 3 has over the Pico 4 is it has the depth sensor, which means its augmented reality is going to be better. But as far as screen resolution and power, there's not much difference between a Pico 4 and a Quest 3. So, let's have a look. Oh, hey, Wolveraza, how you doing, my friend? What doesn't kill us only makes us stronger. Well, yeah, it didn't try to kill me, but oh my god. Yeah. Pico are desperate to get into the American market. They are desperate, and it's only this congressional hearing that's stopping them because of, if you don't understand, that ByteDance owns Pico and owns TikTok, and the American government are a bit nervous about American users data being utilized by the Chinese government. So they are actually trying to ban TikTok, not ByteDance, TikTok, which is really weird because if you've been on TikTok, well, I'll just leave that there. Micro Game Station. Hello, mate. I've noticed rather common for there to be breakdowns between EU and Chinese subsidiaries of companies. Pico, Pimax, even ARM. Oh, really? Yeah, so that's a really good point. So what happened was that Pico were quite a small company, but they were very, very popular in China. So just give you a bit of background. Meta can't sell their headsets in China, which is ironic, don't you think? They are trying to get the Chinese government to overturn that decision so they can sell Quest headsets in the Asian market, specifically China. It seems quite ironic that Pico are trying to do the same thing for the US. What was the... yeah, so anyway, Pico were their own standalone company, and then ByteDance, who own TikTok, who have more money than Facebook. Let's just put this out there. TikTok and ByteDance have more money than Facebook. So ByteDance bought Pico with the obvious thought of moving into the new VR and AR market. And I say AR as well because I think that's really important, and I'm going to come back to that in a minute. So ByteDance bought Pico, and what they did was they just went, here's a load of money. And what happens when you chuck a load of money at a company is they hire a lot of people all at once, and nobody has a plan. And this is the problem with Pico. This is the main problem with Pico, is that they don't seem to know what the left hand is doing from the right hand. So we speak to Wenyu, who's in the European game development. Oh, cheers, Fitz. Thanks, mate. Oh, dude, we wanted to see you there as well. Apparently you couldn't get a babysitter for the giant 13-year-old with the size 13 feet. So I was really looking forward to seeing you. There is another due on the 31st of August, which is an overnight stay. So if you can make it, we'll speak to Wen, see if you can get down. Thanks for the donation. Yeah, so what happens is they throw a lot of money at a company. All of a sudden, they employ a load of people. A doesn't know what B's doing, and you get like people trying to sort of say, oh my God, I want to protect my job, so I'm going to do this, and I'm going to protect my job, so I'm going to do that. And that's what seems to have happened with Pico. So the European division seems to be at odds with the Chinese division. The Chinese division doesn't seem to know what the European division wants to do. The European division are starved of funds. When he was actually saying that, like, her marketing budget compared to like the TikTok marketing budget is just crazy. It's like a percentage of what TikTok gets. So, these are the things that happen. So I'm just looking at the chat. Hey, RJ, going to walk the dog? Okay, my friend, have a good day. Apart from weenie people. Yeah, so what was I going to say? Yeah, so Meta trying to get into the Chinese market, Pico trying to get into the US market. That's just the way it is. It's business. You know, they see these markets and they want to make money because they're companies, and then you get governments getting in the way, which is a pain in the arse, because I've been to the US and all the people I met were lovely, and I've been to China and all the people I met were lovely. I've been all over the world and all the people I met were lovely, which is really weird because all their governments hate each other. So maybe we should just ignore governments and just be friends with everybody. Because, like I said, I've been all over the world and I've met people in Cuba, in the US. I met people in South America, Mexico, Malaysia, Europe, Egypt. And every single person I met was lovely. But the governments suck. So maybe we should change something. Maybe we should have like a global human country. How about that? That'd be nice, wouldn't it? No boundaries. You can go wherever you want. No, that wouldn't work. Okay, right. So, he didn't get any freebies. Weeble did not get any freebies, apart from your hat. Don't forget about that. I'll provide guillotines for the cleansing. No, evil. That's not the idea. The whole idea is that we all get on together. We don't just kill people randomly. Right, so what's next for the channel? So we have got some new stuff from ProTube, which is very exciting. I can't show you. It's actually there. It's actually there and I can't show you. Could I whip it? Could I just whip it past the camera? I'll just whip it past the camera. I'm going to whip it past the camera because I'm not allowed to talk about it or show you. So there you go. So there's a new product coming from ProTube, which you've just seen. Shuey has one as well, I do believe. So we're testing it out for them. That's ProTube. We have some content coming from Brazen Chairs. I'm just going to quickly look this up. I want to make sure I've got the name right. Give me a second. Yeah, so we have some exciting news from a company called Brazen Gaming Chairs, who are a UK-based supplier of gaming chairs. So they want me to test out one of their chairs against my Secret Labs Pro Evo Titan, which should be exciting. Yeah, so that's coming to the channel. We also have a meet up on the 21st of August with a company called Rezel, who are releasing a game on the PSVR 2 and they want feedback. So that's interesting. We've then got Format down in Manchester, which is a gaming. I went to it not last year, but the year before. I think it was the year that Queen died. Was that last year? I think it was. Yeah, I went down last year. It was really good fun. That's where I actually met Blue Bottles for the first time. So that was an amazing event. They're having another one in Manchester quite soon, so I'm going down for that. I cannot make it to Gamescom this year because of finances. If I'd have got my Pico contract a bit earlier, well, that's ironic. I would have gone to Gamescom and I had loads and loads of places booked for loads and loads of stuff, like game sort of reveals and tech stuff, and I just can't go. I just can't afford it, unfortunately. It was going to cost too much. I'm going on holiday in September with the wife, and we just didn't have the money. But I will be going next year. So all of the Gamescom stuff has had to be put on hold. But the lovely people from Soul Assembly actually reached out to me and said I had an appointment with Soul Assembly at Gamescom to see the new Drop Dead the Cabin augmented reality experience with the Quest 3. So that's exciting. But they've actually come back to me and said, well, don't worry if you can't come to Gamescom. There will be another event later on this year. So hopefully I'll be going back down to Gamescom to see all the lovely people, Joe, and I'll be down at Gamescom, down at Soul Assembly in Stratford upon Avon, and hopefully we'll get to see this augmented reality version of Drop Dead the Cabin, which sounds amazing. So we've got that. We have got EGX in October, and I've got some invites to go down to see some people, some developers at EGX to get some private time with their games. RJ has just revealed that Bulwark Games, who are the developers of Genotype, will be at Gamescom, at EGX, sorry. So that's exciting. So it'd be nice to actually meet RJ, because we've been in contact for quite a long time. So all the exciting things, you know, all these, like, the Pico contract was exciting and disappointing at the same time. But we also have the meeting down in August where we're going to see some new stuff from Pico. So that's exciting. And then we have all the things we've said, like the brazen gaming chairs, the new Pro Tube, Resil format, going down to Soul Assembly, EGX in October. So there are a lot of things to look forward to, and I'm really excited for the future of VR. Obviously, the elephant in the room is the Quest 3. But I just want to catch up on chat before I want to talk about the Quest 3. And I'm actually thinking about making a video about this, so I'm going to catch up with chat. Evil Kings, is it the gold thingy? No. It's more exciting than that. Let's just rewind and pause. Oh, I'm going to get in trouble off ProTube for doing that, aren't I? I'm going to get into Pro. So, yeah, so it's a prototype. They want my feedback. I think it's great what they've done, because the big problem with ProTube is, I should share, the only problem with ProTube is a bit of a dark art to set your ProTube up. So they've obviously looked at that and they've thought, well, how can we get around that? And they've come up with a great solution. And that's all I'm going to say about that. Jason, do not post any pictures of that on the internet, because I'll get into trouble. But on the plus side, my Carbon ProTube may be given away in the future as a gift to my members, because I have this new ProTube, and to be fair, that's not a bad thing. Shall I get it down so you can see it? I'll get it down so you can see it. So this is, oh, I just hit my microphone. This is my Carbon ProTube. Obviously the Force Tube will not be included, because I love that and you're not getting your hands on that. But yeah, there's my Carbon ProTube. So what I might do is, if I don't have to return the prototype ProTube, I might be giving this away, not this month, because this month is the Pico 4 headset giveaway. Thank you very much. But September, I might be giving away this actual Carbon ProTube to my channel members. So make sure you subscribe, make sure you like the video, and make sure you join my channel membership. There will be key giveaways every single week, or gift card giveaways if I don't have any keys. And every single month I will be giving away a nice gift. Something like a ProTube or whether some of the VR accessories. So there you go. So September, might be giving away a Carbon ProTube. Might. Probably. Join the channel. Of course, at this point, Weeble's saying, well, I've already got a Carbon ProTube because Matt gave me one. Right, I'll catch up on chat quickly. Sorry, Matt, just got to go. Right, I'll see you all later. See you later, Weeble. Takes two and calls him grubby. Diamond Geezer, hopefully be cheaper as Secret Labs. Is a bit overly priced, though I do actually like my chair. They even sent me a new back piece, and the other one was creaking. Oh, okay, that's pretty cool. Winner medal made for you next time if you are lucky. Micro Game Station. Is there a chance you'll be getting a Pico 4 Enterprise? I'm super curious about its face tracking compared to the Pico. No, Micro. I won't. Yeah, there's all sorts of weird. You have to have a business account, and then you have to have a subscription. So that's not happening. And to be fair, no Pico games take advantage of face tracking or yeah. So yeah, that's not happening. Excuse me. The real battle-worn Pro Tube used by legendary Mac. Hopefully you don't get his battle-worn. Evil, if you win, I will include a pair of underpants. Just for you, my friend. Because I know... Do you want a pair of battle-worn underpants? I might just include them anyway. Okay, whoever wins... So the September giveaway will be a Carbon Pro Tube, and you get a free pair of my old underpants. You can frame them. You can put them on your head. You can chuck them in the bin. I would suggest you chuck them in the bin. Austin Harley, soiled or unsoiled? Well, that's your choice, my friend. If you win, if you're a channel member and you win, you can have the choice of soiled or unsoiled. There you go. We're perfectly inclusive in Mac in VR. Whatever you want, I will do. I'm basically whoring myself out to get your money because this is my job now. I'm retired. My contract for Pico ends in September. I'll be skint. I'm not skint. I'm not skint, really. Let's get some more Mac juice. Love the Mac juice. Yeah, so the things we can take away from the Pico event are... I'm still a Pico evangelist. I still love my Pico headset. It is my main PC VR headset using virtual desktop. If there is a game comes out on Pico and Quest, I would prefer to play it on the Pico because the headset's more comfortable, the lenses are better, and the screen's better. And in the case of Red Matter 2, the game actually runs about 20% better than it does on the Quest because of the cooling. So if you don't know... Let's get my Pico down. Oh, here we go. So this is my Pico. This is my Pico 4. I'll just get that out of the way. So this is my Pico 4. So I've got the KK COBVR head strap, which is as good as the Bobo headset on my Quest 2. I just have to point that out. If you need a head strap for your Pico 4, the KKCO BVR is brilliant. It's really good. It has a magnetically detachable battery, and that is 10,000 milliamps. So the Bobo VR battery is only 5,300 milliamps. So with the KKCO BVR, you get almost twice the capacity of a Bobo, and as you can see, it's really nice. I love the detail here. Can you see it? It's so cool. Yeah, like the printing here. It's so cool. And that sits on your head beautifully. So what it does, it cups the back of your head. So it kind of sits kind of at like an angle like that on the back of your head. So it just rests on my bald spot. But if you have hair, it might rest on your hair. And then it has this really comfortable head strap here, which is really padded. It's really, really good. And then I've got the AMVR facial interface here. I think you can see the logo. You can see the logo. But then I actually found that strangely, the interface from my Quest was actually more comfortable. So I actually put to be fair, it's not more comfortable. It just looked better. So I put the facial interface from my Quest 2 on my Pico 4. So that's my Pico 4. Great headset. Absolutely brilliant. I mean, look at that. Look at the balance. Look how well balanced that is. Yeah. Right, so let's get back to the chat. Oh yeah, I was talking about the cooling. So the Pico 4 can actually, even though it has the same XR2 chip as the Quest 2, it can actually run at over 20% over the clock speed because it has this here. Right? So that is like a great. And if you put your Pico 4 on your head and then start it up, that blows air out like a mother. It really does. And it helps to keep the Pico headset cool so they can actually run the clock speeds a lot higher. So the CPU and the GPU on the Pico 4, even though it's got the same chip as the Quest 2, can run up to 20% higher than the Quest 2. Obviously, the Quest 3 has the new Gen 2 XR2 chip. So don't be mistaken to think that the Quest 3 is underpowered because it has an XR2. It is the next generation XR2 chip, which apparently has over 50% more power than the XR2 chip that's in the Pico 4 and the Quest 2. Right, I'll just quickly catch up on chat because Evil King has said something. Mac, what is it compared to the old Q2 specs? What about after update 56? Update 56, right. So update 56 brought us Qualcomm Game Super Resolution, the update, which is already available via Virtual Desktop. Yeah, so I don't know. I'll be honest with you, Evil, I don't use my Quest 2. So I know this sounds like a bit of a shit answer, but I don't use my Quest 2 because the Pico 4 is so much better. If I have a standalone game that's on the Pico 4, I'll play that. If I'm using Virtual Desktop, I will use my Pico 4 because the headset's better. So I don't know what version 56 did to the Quest 2 because I don't use my Quest 2 really. We're gonna get back to the question of the Quest 3. I'm rewinding here because I was actually going to talk about the Quest 3 a little bit, but I'm catching up on chat now. That entire set was gorgeous. Yes, it is, Assassin. It is. AMVR2 facial interface and KKCOB VR head strap. Mint. Absolutely. That top strap just takes all the pressure off the top of your head. Pico 4 is so comfortable. Like I said, it's on a par with the Bobo, which I actually have a Bobo VR M2 Pro on my Quest, and that is just as good. Right, okay. It might just be bald old man bias, but my kids have a hell of a time in VR because of hair. Shave it. Shave your kids' hair. There you go. That's that one solved. Simon V, or Beady Bastard, as we know him in Discord now. That's finally been revealed. I need one of those Bobo head straps for the Q3 wants to get, hopefully, a referral. That's a good point, actually, because apparently, your peripherals for your Quest 2 will be compatible with the Quest 3. I have heard through the grapevine. So, if you have a Bobo VR M2 for your Quest 2, it may just fit straight onto your Quest 3, which I think is fucking genius, because one of the things that really annoys me is when they upgrade, like, for example, consoles, like the PS4 to PS5 and the Xbox to the Xbox, whatever they're running now, you have to change your peripherals. But we think that any peripherals you have for your Quest 2 are going to be compatible with the Quest 3. We think. It's one thing of things I want to talk about. Okay, so Evil King has also unlocked more GPU and CPU power. Yes, they did. So if you're unaware, the version 56 allowed the Quest 2 GPU and CPU to run at, I think, something like 17 and 20% higher clock speeds, because they realized it can run a little bit hotter and it doesn't matter. So that means that you will get better frame rates. It doesn't mean your graphics are going to be better, but you will get a more consistent frame rate. You got a little bit more power, which is great. It's absolutely fine. It's similar to what Nvidia do with their updates for their GPUs. So every single month or two, you'll get an update for your GPU, which will make it a little bit more efficient, a little bit more heat resistant, a little bit more this, that, and the other. So that's what they've done with version 56. Excellent, because when Quest 3 comes out with the version 2 XR2 chip, it's going to be 50% more powerful, but they're obviously being conservative because it's a brand new product. They might be able to do that in the future with the Quest 3. They might be able to boost the power by 15, 20, 25%. Yeah, so I'm all in for software. But the Pico 4 can run higher clock speeds because of the better cooling solution, which is the point I was trying to make. And get super hot, yeah. Assassin said, update 56 is flawless for me. My wife's headset finally updated last night and her universal menu won't display. Oh my god. Meta update something and break it. Fuck, that's never happened before, has it? Also gets super hot. Hey, Verified, how you doing, my friend? Nice to see you. This is just a Mac chat. We were talking about my Pico experience. That was the whole idea of the chat, but we've got off to something else. I also want to just finish talking to people on the chat. Stick drift. Oh, slow coach. Right. Stick drift. You need to buy yourself. Hold on. Just going to quickly float that by the chat again. Hopefully nobody noticed what that was. Right. So, slow coach. This is what you need. Right? This is WD-40 Specialist Contact Cleaner. Right? So what you do is on your Quest 2, this, you can actually peel it off. If you get your fingernail in or a screwdriver, you can actually peel this black part off. And then what you do is you get your WD-40 Specialist Contact Cleaner. Once you've peeled off this black cover, the thumbstick is exposed. Spray shitloads of that into it. Get a cloth, wipe it all off. This just sticks back down. You can just put it back on it. I don't know, it just sticks back on. And your stick drift will be finished. Yeah, stick drift will be fixed. That's what I did with mine. There you go. Consumer advice. WD-40 Specialist Contact Cleaner. Peel off this black cover here. It just lifts off. It literally just lifts off. Spray some of that onto your thumbstick. Give it a wiggle. Clean off the excess. Put that back on. Sorted. There you go. Consumer advice from Mac in VR. I might actually make a video about that. Do a little sort of YouTube short. Right, I'm going to catch up now because I just went a bit mad there. Assassin, the Kiwi head strap. I need to have holes drilled for the USB and audio ports because they'll be in the... Yeah, okay, that's fine. I don't mind that. Plenty of tutorials on step-by-step breakdowns. Yeah, I saw a Pico 5 float by Mac's screen. Did you? I haven't got a Pico 5. I wish I did. Or have I? I'm just not telling you. Diminishing returns. Yeah, but mate, if it solves the problem short term, Quest 3's coming out soon. Sorted. I mean, to be fair, it's sorted out the stick drift on my Quest 2, and that I've never ever had to bother with it again. So, you know, short term, long term, I'm not sure. Just replace the transducers now. Total fix rather than a band-aid. Moonshine Games. No, try WD-40. Have a problem too. We'll have a dig in the garage for some. No, it's not WD-40. Moonshine, it's not WD-40. It's a WD-40 Specialist Contact Cleaner. Costs about £5 in the UK. Probably about $5. Get it from Amazon. So there you go. Unfortunately, it's been fucked about with my green screen. Because that's a green screen. So you can't quite see the tin that well. But there you go. This is the way. This is the way. Oh my God. Mandalorian. So the best episode of Book of Boba Fett, in my opinion, was the episode where Boba Fett wasn't in it. It was just a Mandalorian. I'm just putting that out there. Right, I'm going to catch up with chat. I was trying to catch up with chat when we got... Yeah. Yeah, Reeks of Cheese says it's always worked. Yes, yeah, I am surprised not recommend enough. Pico 6. That would be nice. Eye tracking, foveated rendering. In fact, I am actually wearing a Pico 6. This is the Pico 6. I'm not just a blind I'm not just a blind old man. Yeah, definitely. Make sure it's the one for the electronics. Specialist contact cleaner. Can't emphasize that enough. Don't just use WD-40. Oh dear. Yeah, the Pico 6 actually has a 270-degree FOV. It's fucking amazing. It's like real life. Honestly, the pass-through is amazing. Watch this. That's incredible. Look at this. It's almost as if I'm like in the real life. Obviously, I'm taking the piss. That's just my glasses. Anybody gets overexcited, I get reported. Mac in VR has access to Pico 6. Yeah. Specs to rival Apple Visor. What you can't see is I've got a massive battery in my back pocket. Oh, don't get me started on Apple Vision Pro. I like the idea of Apple Vision Pro. I really do. Catwalk haven't sent me a treadmill yet. No. They've obviously looked at my big fat ass and thought, well, he's not going to exercise. Apple Vision Pro. Oh, my God. In fact, I'm going to do a poll. Should I do a poll? I'll do a poll. Are you going to buy the Apple Vision Pro? There we go. Right. Are you going to buy the Apple Vision Pro? There's a question for you. You can get clicking, boys and girls. Get clicking. Yeah, infinite battery life. So the battery's amazing because it's just like it's in this little thing here. So if you pull it off, you can actually replace the battery just by recharging it and then pushing a new one on. So I know I'm taking the piss. But I think that in like 15, 20 years time, that actually could be true. That actually could be the battery. And this actually could be your VR headset. A bit like sort of Ready Player One. Read the book. Do not watch the film. The film is shite. Actually, the film was not bad. But if you read the book is so much better. Oh my God. All my books fell on the floor now. I can sort them out later. Okay. No to Apple, slow coach. Yeah, I don't surprise. Okay, my mate will buy it. He has no idea what he's buying. There's no other VR unit, but there's full Fruit logo on it. Yeah, okay. In the back pocket. Absolutely verified. In the back pocket, my friend. Well, unfortunately, the poll doesn't seem to be going too well for Apple. It's like 92% no at the moment. I'll end that in about 5 minutes and we'll go back and talk about it. Right, so one of the things I did want to talk about, which I kept getting distracted by because I kept like talking to chat and drinking the Mac juice. Okay, hold on. So 2 more chat. New Vive trackers are coming. I don't know. Slow coach, mate. I don't know. Yeah, Assassin. Oh my God. I would love an Apple Vision Pro. That's like, you know, I would love it because it's like it's cutting edge. It's, you know, it's by Apple. It's going to be like, it's going to be slick to use. You know, the whole idea of having that massive screen to watch TV on and those, like the resolution of those screens and just the sheer power of the damn thing. I think it would be amazing. But they've never, ever, during their whole expo, mentioned the words VR, right? They said AR quite a lot. They never said VR. It's not geared towards VR. It's geared towards productivity, because basically it's a MacBook Pro on your face. That's amazing. Which is something the Quest Pro wasn't, because the Quest Pro was, well, according to the people who I've spoken to who had Quest Pros, the productivity software didn't really work with anything else, and that's like a major problem. But if you're in the Apple ecosystem, then the Vision Pro is going to be amazing. There was an article in Upload VR that said that the guy who's in charge of Apple, can't remember his name, he actually uses the Apple Vision Pro all the time now for his productivity. And that's like bodes well. But what I would use it for would be to watching films and Netflix and Amazon, because I just like the idea of being totally isolated and being able to sort of, you know, have this massive screen, which would be, obviously because of the resolution of the panels, would be amazing, like huge. Yeah, but I can't afford £3,500, I'm afraid. I would like one, but I can't afford it. Right, so where are we? Apple Vision Pro's great tech. Yeah, Apple Vision Pro. Steam VR and OVR. Oh my gosh, Reeks. Oh, Reeks, you just nailed it there, mate. If that worked with Steam VR, wow, how good would that be? But it doesn't have any controllers, right? So you couldn't play games with it because it doesn't have any controllers, unless it would like have compatibility with like index controllers and base stations. But yeah, wow, that would be amazing. Verified games couldn't justify the price. Yeah, I know. Okay, let's give the poll another couple of minutes. It seems to be quite conclusive. It seems to be quite conclusive. So right. So here we go. Right, I'm stopping reading chat now. I'm just going to finish off me Mac juice. In fact, no, I'm going to top my Mac juice up. Fuck it. Right, so we need to. Okay, so we need to go back a little bit here, because a couple of months ago I was approached by the developer of Cactus Cowboy, and he didn't have a Pico 4, and he said, if I send you a file, can you test it for me? And I was like, yeah, no problems, mate. And he's basically, if you go on the Quest store, or might be on App Labs, there's something on App Labs called Emilio's Adventure. Go and check it out right now. Go and look for it on App Labs if you have a Quest 2. You can download it. I think it's free. And basically, it's an augmented reality experience for Quest 2. So this chap who developed the Cactus Cowboy games asked me if he could port it to Pico 4. And I was like, if you can, I'd like to try it out. So he actually ported Emilio's Adventure to the Pico 4 just by downloading the Pico 4 SDK, and then it took him an hour, right? So what he did was pretty incredible, and I am the only person in the world, apart from him, who has access to Emilio's Adventure on the Pico 4. And Emilio's Adventure on the Pico 4, I will get to my point soon. Emilio's Adventure on Pico 4 is one of the... It changed my mind about augmented reality. Because basically what it is, it's just a basic game using the Cactus Cowboy characters, but it plays out in your game space. And you place the game area in front of you, and with the Pico 4's color pass-through, you can see your game place area, and then the game itself plays in front of you. So this is the incredible thing. The opening level has you, as the little cactus dude, has to jump over some containers to get to a certain point. But you then have to walk around your play space to see what he's doing. So I immediately stepped over the containers in front of me, because my brain said they're containers. If you step into them, you'll trip over. And I stepped over them. I turned around. I was like, okay, that's fine. And then I went, oh, that's incredible. Because just that basic game. I mean, Emilio's Adventure is a basic game. There's, you know, it's like a little bit of a shoot 'em up that you have to control the little dude. But even that basic augmented reality experience tricked my brain into thinking you have to step over that because that exists in the real world. And it didn't, because it was just on my headset. So, the point I was trying to make. Quest 3 has a better camera for augmented reality than the Pico 4, but it has a depth sensor. And that means that you will get a real world. So the Pico 4, the pass-through is really good, but it estimates what you're doing. So if your hand is here, it looks really weird and big. And some things don't, like the scale doesn't look quite right. So the Quest 3 has an augmented reality camera that has a depth sensor. And I honestly think that is the big thing that's going to change VR. Because Drop Dead the Cabin have dropped their sort of augmented reality sort of demo of Drop Dead the Cabin. If you go back to the Quest 3 sort of announcement, you can actually see Mark Zuckerberg playing Drop Dead the Cabin in his house, and there are zombies climbing in through the windows. So what that means is that if you're in your play space, like I am here, I have windows, I have doors, I could play Drop Dead the Cabin here, and there will be zombies climbing through my window, and I'd have to fight them off, and they will be like in my Mac cave. And what you have to right. So if you haven't done it yet, go and download Emilio's Adventure for the Quest 2. Or I think it's on App Labs. I'm pretty sure it's on App Labs. It's not great because the pass-through on the Quest isn't that good. But then you have to imagine that with full color pass-through and a depth sensor. And that is what I think is going to be incredible on the Quest 3. I'm convinced. I'm absolutely convinced, because I have experienced augmented reality on my Pico 4, which is actually, I'm pointing up there, but it's actually down here. And it fucking blew my mind. It honestly blew my mind. So the future of virtual reality is virtual reality with augmented reality. There you go. I've said it. I've said it. Quest 3 is going to be incredible because of its pass-through and its augmented reality. I might make a video about it. You don't have to watch it because you know the result. Damn. Get less viewers now. Right, so let's catch up with chat. Okay, let's end the poll. Let's end the poll. End poll. Okay. So, where's the fucking poll gone? Where's the poll gone? Oh, there it is. So, the results of the poll, not surprisingly, were 86% said no and 13% said yes. So I'm guessing that's the people who have a lot of money against the people like me who don't have a lot of money. Call the content so we'll watch and give a like. Yeah, so, oh, dude. Slow Coach has just made a really good point there. Playing something like table tennis with color pass-through in augmented reality in your own, like, garage or room or living room against your son or daughter or friend, or that's going to be amazing. And it's coming. Like, so don't think this is something that's like, oh, it's going to be 5 years off. It's not 5 years off. It can be done. It can be done. I've seen it. It's amazing. Absolutely. Slow coach. What a great point, mate. Thanks a lot. Yeah. Yeah, so yeah, that's a good point, Assassin. Look what Pokemon did to AR, because people walking around with their phones, you know, and they were like, oh look, there's a I never played Pokemon in my life. Would you believe I never played Pokemon in my life? But they was like, oh look, there's a Pokemon over there by that statue. Let's go and grab it. So imagine if that was like in a VR headset, a standalone VR headset as well, like Quest 3, and you had like a Bobo VR M2 Pro, and you had like 5 hours battery life, and you could basically wander around in VR, AR, catching Pokemon. Or imagine if you could just like procedurally generate like a roguelike in your garden, where you were just wandering around and there were like space monsters and zombies and stuff jumping out in front of you. Or how about just like having it map your house? So you have to walk around your house, and then like the Quest 3 maps your house. And then you had a whole game of like Resident Evil in your house, where the zombies were coming through the windows and the doors, but you were in your house. Oh man. Wow, that's so exciting. And that's one of the reasons I'm so excited for the Quest 3. And I'm only excited for the Quest 3 because of the depth sensor. I'm not excited for the specs. The XR2 chip, yeah, whatever. It's 50% more powerful, but whatever. The screen resolution isn't that much better than a Quest Pro. Pancake lenses. I'm a fan of pancake lenses. Yep, that's great for me. But for me, it's the camera. It's the AR camera with a depth sensor that I think is going to change everything that we know about VR. Absolutely everything that we know. Honestly. Download Emilio's Adventure on your Quest 2 from AppLab right now. It's rubbish, but you'll get an idea. If you have a Pico... Oh, no, you can't. Because I'm the only one... I'm the only one that's actually got a copy of Emilio's Adventure on Pico 4. So you'll have to come to my house. Come to my house and try it. Honestly, it's crazy. It's crazy. It's so good. And it's just... And I mean, the guy who did Cactus Cowboy, he did that in an hour, right? That game did not exist. We had a conversation on Twitter, and he said, I'll download the Pico SDK, and then I'll send you the file. Can you try it out for me? And I was like, yeah, no problems at all. An hour later, he sent me the file, and I was playing Emilio's Adventure in color pass-through on my Pico 4. It was fucking incredible. It's incredible. There are so many clever people in this world. I'm just blown away. I'm fucking blown away. Excuse my French. I don't care. AR. VR and AR are the future. There's two types of people, right? There's two types of people. The first type of people know that VR is going to change the world. The second type of people haven't tried VR yet. And that is a quote. And remember that, because in 5 to 10 years' time, you'll think, oh, Mac said that in a Mac chat when he was bitching about Pico not getting his contract. So, yeah, okay, I'm going to catch up with the chat because I have gone off on a bit of a tangent there. Right, so... AR's got to cause VR growth to explode. Evil King says, I'm playing VR to be immersed. I have no particular interest in hanging out with VR in the real world. Okay, that's fine. You have to try it, mate. You have to try it, honestly. Come to my house. I know you're in the US, but there you go. You have to go to my house. Still surprised mobile headsets don't have display port like the Pico 3 or Link. Neighbour's going to call it when he's in the garden screaming section. Absolutely, my friend. Bringing games into your world makes it personal. It does. Assassin. That's such a good quote. That's such a good quote. It's almost as if you're a content creator with a bit of brains. I like that. Hey, Rastapuff. Rastapuff won the channel members spin last week. So he has a gift voucher for Steam, and he's going to spend it on Sierra Squad, Crossfire Sierra Squad. So we're going to play together when that releases. Very excited about that, my friend. Do you think the Decard will appear this year? No. No. Well, since... Oh, that's such a good question. Slow coach. Fucking good question. Since Bradley... since, sadly, it's Bradley lost his contact in the supply chain, and you don't know what happened was... Sadly, it's Bradley was doing all the leaks for the Quest 2, the Quest 3, the Valve Decard. And it turns out that he had a contact in the supply chain for these companies who were supplying components to VR headset manufacturers. And they found out who it was, and he lost his contact. When he say lost his contact, I don't think he got killed. I don't think they dragged him out and shot him in the head. I think he got sacked. So since sadly it's Bradley lost his contact in the supply chain, we have not got any information about the Decard. But Valve have a habit of releasing things at the end of the year, don't they? I don't know, Slow Coach. I mean, I'm going to buy one. I don't care. Like the Valve Index, without a doubt, was the best headset that's ever been released. It was, apart from the fact it was tethered. Comfortable, amazing audio, like sub-millimeter tracking, just a superb headset. But that's because it's Valve, because they think things through. They're not interested in the money. They're not interested in their margins. They just want to make the best thing they possibly can. I think the Decard, when it comes out, is going to be mind-blowing, because I think what they're going to do is they're going to make it so that it's upgradable. So you only have to buy one Decard, and then you can upgrade it over the next few years. So, do I think it's going to come out this year? No, I don't. I don't, unfortunately. I would love it to, but yeah, maybe next year. Right, where were we? Sounds great. Targeted adverts. You're not getting the contract. Your world is brought into the game. Yeah, Assassin, that's a good point. Yeah, your world is brought into the game. AR headsets will start out as being VR headsets. Yes, that is absolutely correct. The Quest 3 will be a gaming headset with AR capabilities until people realize that AR is actually really amazing. No Decard for 3 years. Oh, no. Cole, I want a Decard. Reeks of cheese. I want to scan and replicate my room and make it a VR chat world so my friends can come hang out. Or can you not just get your friends to come to your house and hang out? Oh, they couldn't dress as fairies. Okay, that's fair enough. Brad knew too much. Legal. Yes. PSVR 2, the Game Cat. How you doing? I'm brief. What have I missed? Okay, we've been talking about... oh my God. How do I... we've been talking about Pico. We've talked about the Pico live streaming contract. We talk about disappointment. We're talking about how I think Quest 3 AR will change the industry. And now we're talking about when do you think the Decard's going to come out? So what will they call the Index successor? The Index. Oh, yeah. Valve Index. The Valve 4 finger, thumb. The Valve thumb. The Valve forefinger. The Valve pinky. I like the Valve pinky. That sounds really good. How about the Valve palm? Can you get a double Decard? Hey, Clueless. How you doing, my friend? Hey, Monkey Nuts. Yeah. Okay. The only advantage I can see to AR games, I'll be able to see where the kids are in the room to make sure I hit them. Oh, my God. Yeah. So I'm going to end the stream quite soon. I think we've talked about all the things we want to talk about. Initially, we were going to talk about the things I wanted to talk about was my Pico contract, and then I wanted to talk about Quest 3's AR capabilities. But we seem to have gone off on a tangent, and we've been waffling on for like an hour and a half. AR is the future. Yeah, it's... I think the whole idea of AR... The whole idea about AR is being able to See where you are. Like playing Demio in AR is crazy, right? Playing Demio in AR is proper crazy because it's just like I have this Dungeons and Dragons table here in my house, but I can still see, I can still, pick my drink up. I can see my mates. I can see my mates' avatars. It's honestly, I'm a massive AR evangelist, as well as a VR evangelist. Playing Automobilista 2 on my sim rig with my VR headset on is an incredible experience, and AR cannot, I don't think, make that experience better. So for some things, like for example Half-Life Alyx, or playing sim games, or playing Microsoft Flight Simulator, I don't think AR are going to improve them. AR is going to change things if you want to play like a zombie shooter in your house. I think that is going to be fucking incredible. If you have to go up your stairs with a shotgun thinking, oh my god, there's going to be a zombie in my bathroom, open the bathroom door and then your wife's there having a poo or something and there's a zombie behind you, like, it's like, what are you doing? I'm having a poo. Yeah, but I'm just killing the zombie behind you. That, to me, I mean, taking away the fact that my wife's having a poo, that sounds amazing. Porn in AR. Oh my god. Porn in AR. Do you know what, GameCat? That's a really good question, because one of the things we got demonstrated yesterday at Pico was Pico Video Live in AR. So you had like the color pass through for the Pico 4, and you had the Pico Live talent. I'm going to say talent because it's mostly young Asian girls dancing around, but she was in AR. So I was actually in the room. I could see everybody, and there was like a young Asian girl dancing in front of me. So yeah, I mean, as far as porn goes, I mean, everybody knows that porn pushes technology further forward. So yeah, because like the thing about porn in VR is you have the headset on and you can't see anything else. But if you're in AR and the porn's there, you can actually maybe see the fact that your wife's about to come into the room, and you can like, I'll just stop that right there. So yeah, actually that's a great question, my friend. That is a great question. Yeah, porn in AR will be amazing. It would. I mean, I like porn. Everybody likes porn. Women like porn. My wife likes porn. Fuck it. With the Pico contract tanking you, time to play Vertigo 2 for everyone. I shall burn you till you do. Evil. Stop torching me, Evil. Stop torching me. Yes, I will be playing Vertigo 2 when it comes out. Evil King has porn partially. Yes, you did. You did tell the story, my friend. Blade Runner digital hookers a reality. Yes. Yes. Now we just need the Red Dwarf groin socket. Tropic Thunder told everyone in a funny way, yeah. I'm the dude playing the dude who's playing the dude. She will never catch me with my pants down again. Maniac. You'll be able to see the window cleaner watching you crack one out. I don't know what world you live in, Maniac, but I wouldn't want to be your window cleaner. Oh my god. Haptic fleshlights. Oh, I tell you what, we've hit a vein. We've hit, like, not a purple vein, we've hit a vein. Vertigo 2 is great, yeah. I haven't played it yet. My name's Dwayne Dibley. That's a good point, Slow Coach. Yes. Bit of Red Dwarf memorabilia. I've got an overbite. I love that episode. It was called 4 Horsemen of the Apocalypse. Yeah, that was a great episode. If you haven't watched it, there's a really weird indie sci-fi program in the UK called Red Dwarf. And, you know, it's smoke me a kipper, skipper. I'll be back for breakfast. And it has all of the best sort of all those little words and everything that Slow Coach is using there, those little catchphrases. It's just great. Absolutely great. Let's go to red alert. Oh, do we have to, sir? That means I have to change the light bulb. Yeah, go and watch Red Dwarf. Go and watch Red Dwarf. Right, guys, I'm going to sign off because I was basically just going to talk about my Pico experience, and we've morphed into something else. It's been great fun. AR porn is going to change the world because you'll be able to see your wife coming from a mile away. Cheers, beady bastard. Now that we know who you are. Cheers, verified. Yeah, put some Red Dwarf quotes up. Put some Red Dwarf quotes up. Because Red Dwarf is the best. Or what's your favourite episode of Red Dwarf? What's your favourite episode of Red Dwarf? I know what mine is. I do know what mine is. I do know what mine is. Red Dwarf is amazing. Go and watch Red Dwarf. If you, as soon as you're finished here, get on YouTube, look at Red Dwarf, and look at the 4 Horsemen of the Apocalypse. And also, I can't remember the name of the episode, but it's the one where everything went backwards, and the cat goes for a shit and ends up getting the shit back up his arse. So it's just so funny. It's just so funny. Right, guys, I am going to sign off. I've talked about my Pico experience. I've tried to be honest. I've got my contract until the end of September. There will be weekly game key giveaways on the members channel. There will be a Pico 4 headset giveaway, hopefully by the end of the month. There will be a ProTube Carbon MagTube giveaway in September. And obviously we have a weekly gift card or key giveaway up to that point. So if you aren't a channel member, I know a lot of you are, don't forget to join the channel. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to like the video. And I demand that you go and watch Red Dwarf right now. Cheers, guys. I'll catch you later.